guys, it is Tristan with Nerdette's NewsStand, and we are back with day 2 when it comes to Johnny Depp versus the Sun. Now, I do want to go over what happened today in court, and go over as much of it as I can. Now, I want to first off talk about the schedule. I did have people asking and thinking that Amber was going to be examined in the witness stand today. Now, that is actually not going to happen till next Friday. So it looks like, just like a quick timetable here, we are going to see Johnny up until Friday morning. Now, this was just added today. They do, Sasha West, I'm not sure how you say that, did ask for more time with Johnny because of the length of his answers. So it looks like up until noon, lunch hour, on Friday will be the claimant. And then we are going to get into some video links. They are having people, come on the witness staff, but most of them will be by video link. We are going to see quite a few, even starting as early as Friday afternoon. I'm not sure how they're going to push some of these back, but we are going to get some different officers. We are going to get, obviously, we know that Vanessa Paradis and Tara Roberts are going to talk. All of these names are really big. We're going to see Io Tillett. I believe that is not until the following week, though. Like, there is just so many people, so much going on, but not until next Friday, and then again Monday and Tuesday, will we see Amber talking. Now, most of that we won't even hear about, right? Because she is going to be behind closed doors, protected for some, if not all of it, because of, supposedly the horrific nature of events that she is going to talk about. But we will see both Raquel Pennington and Io Tillett shortly follow thereafter. There is going to be a lot of big names before the end of this. It's set to end Monday, the 27th, but I'm wondering with already having kind of a delay, if they won't push it back until the 28th. Then again, I don't know. So this is just all tentatively scheduled right now. So now that we've gone over this, let's talk about what happened today. Today was a big day in court. Now, I want to make sure when I talk about this, that I tell you that this was the cross-examination from the defendants. Sasha West from The Sun talking to Johnny. So what we are getting is not Johnny's version of events. We are getting Amber's version of events. And that's important to keep in mind because a lot of this is very, if it were true, some of it would be very sketchy. Now, do I believe it's true? No. I believe that Amber is a master manipulator, and we're going to talk about that. But I also want to talk about, a little bit towards the end, how I can see the direction we're heading with this, right? Because it's already being framed in a certain way. There's certain words that are being used quite a few times, and I can already tell you how this is going to end up, and I don't know that it's going to be good. Now, of course, we are just in the beginning stages. I'm just saying how the media is portraying it right now, but we'll talk about that at the beginning. Let's talk about what happened today, and I want to give a huge shout out to Nick Wallace. And I don't even use Twitter, but I was able to find his link, and he literally just live tweets the whole thing. He does a fantastic job. He has a tip jar. He is Journalist of the Year right now. So I was able to go through everything that he put out in all of the documents that were enclosed. There was, I think, 5 from today, 3 witness statements, and then the opening ones from yesterday. I guess those were from, but able to go through everything from his perspective, everything from those documents, and kind of pick, just exactly what should be discussed. So we're going to talk about drugs, right? And that's all we're going to talk about in court. Because apparently, if you're a drug abuser, you are a woman, wife beater, right? I don't know how much more you can tell somebody they're an addict. I don't know how much more you can say, drugs ruined you, you became a monster. But the way they frame it is, Johnny Depp was on drugs, But Amber, she just wanted the best for you. Amber Heard only wanted the best for you. She only wanted you to stop. All of the problems that you had in your marriage with Amber Heard, Johnny, were because of your drug abuse. And that's how a lot of this is, being framed. And just hypocritically enough, she was unwilling to stop drinking 2 to 3 bottles of red wine a night. But she wanted him to. It makes no absolute sense. And there's a lot of really questionable transgressions within here. So we're going to talk about Paul Bentley, right? We talked about him a little yesterday. And they did discuss the text messages that were leaked before. They discussed, you can tell these guys were really good friends, right? They made jokes about buying her a beaver and opening up a website, and it would be like Amber Heard shaves her beaver.com, or watch Johnny Depp shave Amber Heard's beaver. They were just making jokes, but then they, said they could joke between each other, but she was basically the fun police. And unfortunately, that's kind of going to be a reoccurring theme here. And it was very obvious that Amber disliked Paul, right? So those, text message where she said, or Johnny Depp says to Paul, burn her, I want to burn her, these kind of things. We've gone over them before. He does, obviously say, these were a joke. They were me joking, being mad, and talking to a friend. Something we are all allowed to do, whether you're a celebrity or not. So I want to talk about an email she wrote. And this comes from 2014. They did have all the metadata to make sure this was legit. Because I wanted to make sure, because it's you can fake an email, right? It's really not that hard. But the metadata was included. So this was an email that she typed up and never sent. It was in her dress. And basically, it was her saying, when you're on cocaine, you become a monster. You surround yourself with enablers. You don't know how dangerous this kind of a thing is. The people you surround yourself with are not only yes men, but they never allow you to quite hit rock bottom, so you can never pick yourself back up. And people are constantly, she said, looking after you. And how dangerous it was, how dangerous he was to her, and how she felt about the situation. What I'm getting at with this is it feels very weird that you would take the time to type this up and not send it, and still have it. To still have something from 2014, an email is beyond me. Maybe I'm not that organized, or maybe I'm too organized deleting everything, but it just seems very suspect, right? And the reason I mention this is because Johnny Depp does mention, and we're going to talk about that, a dossier that she had, that he feels like the entire time, this was all kind of pre-planned, right? She was setting him up the whole time. And that just kind of makes that, kind of makes you wonder if that's not the truth. So there was a party that they went to around Johnny Depp's birthday. Now, this happened in Hicksville, California, and the person that was on set with them, her name is Christina Sexton. She will be doing a video link, right? So we will get her side of things. But basically, there was a conversation where they tried to show that Johnny Depp fakes drug tests. He knows how to fake them because he told her that. I think anybody that has Google knows how to fake a drug test. So I don't get why they keep bringing up drugs. I think it's because they really don't have a whole lot else. I know we're going to talk about these 14 different occurrences, and we're going to cover a few today, but even so, it just feels like that reoccurring theme. So they talk about the party, how he got jealous and went into a rage, how the trailer that they were staying in, he trashed. At least that's what Sasha said, the defendant. And he's saying, I hit it. He didn't lie about it. Well, okay. There's a couple things that he's doing that's driving me crazy, and I'll talk to you about that. But he did say, I hit it. I was mad. I ruined this. It's a bathroom sconce, and I paid for it. I went to security. I got it fixed. Everything was fine. But Amber claims that, that was one of the times where he hit her, he pushed her. Of course, he denies it. And he said he felt like, he was treated by Amber and the surrounding company for like garbage for, having feelings, which is really a shame. But he did call her a lesbian camp counselor. And initially he said, no, I never said those words, right? Well, they did have text that was proof of those words. And the weird thing is he keeps kind of backtracking a little bit. I would rather have him come out and say, yep, I said it. It was dumb. It was stupid. Instead of saying no and then backtrack, because it makes you look like you're not true to your word. I understand he's probably, very terrified to be in that sort of a situation. This is a big deal. But there was a couple times today when he did that, and I'm just like, it's not a big deal. You're human. If you send a stupid text message, so what? Just don't lie about it initially and then go back. Of course, that is all going to lead into my theory about this. So they did show a picture, a couple different pictures. One was of Amber's arm. It was bruised. One was of cocaine and alcohol. And it was very staged, like to the point where maybe you could even see a date on the actual newspaper. It was very, very staged. And then one of him passed out. My main question when it comes to this is why is Amber already in 2014 taking pictures, right? Why does this already feel like a setup? If she's already taking pictures at that stage before they were married, it kind of seems like it was always, destined to fail. It just seems very weird. Especially like him being passed out on the floor right next to his bed. Maybe instead of taking a photo, help him up. Help him to the bed. Just seems like the normal kind of thing to do. So, anyways, I digress. Let's talk about James Franco. He was brought up and we've talked about him on the channel before. But, one thing that we never knew was the fact that, Amber originally worked with him on Pineapple Express. And before getting her role in Adderall Diaries, she told Johnny that he was a rapist. Not only that, but he made unwanted advances to her and was just very rapey in nature, and that's the word that they use. And, it's not true, obviously. She had an affair with him later on, and that she was just completely uncomfortable. Well, Johnny Depp then, when Adderall Diaries came around, was uncomfortable with them working together. And she wanted the part, so it was too bad for him, even though she literally called this man a rapist. So she lied to him multiple times about different scenes in the movie. She would lie to her assistant, tell her assistant to lie about different romantic scenes they were having together, and it all kind of leads into when we're going to talk about the plane, and we have before on this channel. But initially what happened is Johnny brings up James Franco, right? And that is what leads to the fight on the plane. She says, he's already half cocked when he walks on the plane, and he denies this. But, Amber is saying, you screamed horrible things at me, just obscene things at me. You screamed abuse at me. And, I had to get away from you. Not only that, but he's saying, I had to get away from you. I had to hide in the bathroom and lock myself in. So we hear this little audio clip, and it's a moan. All it is a moan, and they ask him about it. And, obviously, you don't know if it's you. You probably have some distinction, but you can't say 100%. There was no metadata on it. And it ended up being Johnny, obviously. But again, with that setup, with that kind of hoax here we're having, right? Why is she just recording him moan? Again, not married at this point. But I digress. Let's talk about what happened after this fight. Because Johnny Depp had his assistant, kind of try to smooth things out when they landed, and had him, I guess you could say, text on his behalf. And his name is Stephen Duders. I'm not good with names. I apologize. So, basically, he said, tell her what she wants to hear. Tell her whatever she wants to hear. Just get things back to normal. He said they had to placate her in order to really be able to get, her to just drop it, because she would be mad forever. So he does say he's sorry. What bothers me, and this is going to play into the final ruling. This is kind of the biggest deal of the day, right? His assistant, Steven, his words exactly. He was appalled. When I told him he kicked you, he cried. Now, this is coming from his assistant. Now, he did not say Johnny admitted to kicking you. So this is coming from, again, a third party. But I do think it's a big deal that a text at all said, he kicked you. So obviously he didn't admit it. He denied all of it. But the fact that it is in evidence is a little worrying. So we did have Amber Heard just accuse him of the most ridiculous thing: dangling their dog pistol outside of a window. Obviously, he's going to deny that. It's just ridiculous. They had a kind of running joke when it came to the dog. Said it was so little it could be put in a microwave. Jokes like that. Well, she took it a step further and said, well, you, in a speeding car, put my dog out the window while he howled. Okay? Obviously, he's not going to say, yes, I did. He denied these allegations. So, he used to have a tattoo that said Winona Forever. Obviously from his ex. And it got changed to Wino Forever, and she laughed at him, right? Amber Heard claims that because she laughed at him over the tattoo, he slapped her in the face 3 times right in a row. Obviously, that was denied. These are a couple of these allegations of the 14 different abuse stories or hoaxes, whichever, you prefer. So, there was a painting that came up, and it was in one of Amber's possessions by her ex, Tessa Van Ree, and JD asked her to remove it. He is, and they've, mentioned a couple times that he's a jealous lover, and that's fine. That's pretty normal. So, Amber claims that he set it on fire because he was so jealous, right? He denies, obviously, setting on fire, but he did say he can be jealous. This isn't the first incidence of jealousy that we've seen from him. And honestly, if you're not jealous of your significant other, I would be a little nervous around you. So anyways, Johnny Depp did admit that he thinks she's kind of been building this dossier from early on, right? As if to build an insurance policy throughout the entire thing. And we're kind of seeing that unfold, unfortunately. She has a lot of really random evidence, like the email, the fact that the date is in those pictures. It's very, very weird. So what I want to talk about is how I think this is going to go. And obviously, this is just what I think. I could be completely wrong. They are going to, and have already began to try to spin this to their narrative, right? They keep using certain words, right? To drill them in your mind. They keep talking about drugs. They keep saying he blacked out. They keep, saying, well, could this have happened? You were blacked out. Could it have happened? And by that logic, you could say anything could have happened. You could have said literally anything could have happened. So, they're also using different words a lot, like monster, abuser, rage, drunken, blackout. But then at the same time, they're painting Amber as this kind of wifey who takes his boots off when he gets home, cleans up after his messes. She only wants the best for him. She wants him to get clean. She wants to help. She wants to better herself, and they even say this, by taking more mature roles that don't objectify her. And that was right after, she did nude scenes. Okay, sure, whatever. But they keep going back to the one main thing, and that is what is going to be a little damning. And then if that's the fact that he's a drug abuser, they are going to use these blackouts to say, you know what, it could have happened. You could have hit her. You don't know. You were blacked out. you were high, you were this. No, that's not an excuse. It's absolutely not an excuse, and I completely disagree with it. And again, like I said, keep in mind, today was, the defendant against the claimant, against Johnny Depp. But today was not near as good of a victory as yesterday. Now, of course, these days are going to happen. Of course, these things are going to happen. But Amber is hiding herself behind closed doors for hers, meaning they won't be able to spin anything because they won't have any access to it. So unfortunately, I'm hoping tomorrow is a bit of a better day. Not that it was bad, because again, I want to be clear. These were all Amber's accounts of violence. These were all made up or, allegedly made up in her head. So this was Amber's versions of events. Now, I'm curious to see what else comes out, because even the pictures alone, even what we have besides that one text message, nothing is clear, concise, and, going to prove anything but Johnny Depp in the right manner now. So I'm curious to see, but I will, be back tomorrow again for day 3. I will make sure I have it up every evening, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hey guys, I want to give a huge shout out to my Patreon and subscribe stars. You guys literally make this channel possible. Huge thank you to Cage the Mick, Robert Mick Twiz, Black Knight Fool, Brucey, Chris Z, David L, David Rafford, Jeffrey Allen Carnes, Mighty Balls, Mike Buckner, Maizen Barbosa, Ruskar, Ryan Decker, Robert Hoffman, and Doc Holliday. You guys are absolutely amazing, and thank you so much for all your support. Don't forget on the way out to like as always if you enjoy the content, and hit subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.